Well, it's about 5:45 on Thursday evening, and I'm on my way to Hemel Hempstead to Hertfordshire Triumph, who, like I think the whole of the Triumph dealer network in the UK anyway, are holding an open night tonight to introduce the new models for 2019. So I guess that'll be the new Street Twin, the 1200cc Street Scrambler, and the Speed Twin, which I have been lucky enough to take out on a test, in fact, so more about that perhaps later, or perhaps another video. So Hertfordshire Triumph is where I bought my bikes. I started off with a Street Twin. I did refer to this actually on the last video. I started off with the Street Twin. I bought it back in October. I did get quite a good deal on it because the new model was due out, and in fact the new model came out almost the day after I signed the papers for the one I bought. So I liked it. It was a lovely bike, and I wanted to buy into that whole sort of retro, naked retro thing that's going on at the moment. The Street Twin, Ducati Scrambler, I guess the R9T to some extent, Guzzi V3, there's a few of them, and I loved the bike most of the time, by which I mean if I was in traffic, poodling around town, commuting, really doing anything other than riding on fast A roads or motorways, it was absolutely perfect. But I was going on fast A roads and on motorways more, I guess, than I thought I would. And if I'm honest, I thought it fell short. Not so much in power. Well, on the 2017-2018 Street Twin, the power was restricted by the camshaft. So, although theoretically it delivered the same power output as the 2019 model, that the power was restricted, and so didn't have a sixth gear either, and I found it was working quite hard at motorway speeds, and I don't know, I just never quite felt as comfortable going quickly on it as I did when I was just cruising around. So I had no intention of changing it, though, I should make that clear. Anyway, I took it back to Hertfordshire Triumph for its 500-mile oil and filter change, and I had arranged with Ben. Oh, by the way, shout out, I guess, for Ben Sharman, Hertfordshire Triumph. If you need anything Triumph, he's your man, because he sold me more bikes than he thought he was going to without too much difficulty. And part of the reason I bought the first, and I suppose the second, was that I like Ben. He's a good guy, knows his stuff, proper biker, loves Triumph. Anyway, so I'd arranged with Ben to take a street triple out for a test, with no intention to do anything other than ride it for an hour or two and then take my bike back and go home. So I did test it, and my God, I loved it. Fantastic responsiveness, immediate power delivery, very fast, very light. It's actually 5 stone, almost to the pound, 5 stone lighter than the Street Twin. Can you believe that? And you can feel that when you're riding it. It's really apparent that it's a lightweight bike. So anyway, came back to the showroom, gave Ben the keys, and then he said to me, I kind of wish he hadn't in a way. Then he said to me, so Tony, what can I do to sell you this bike? And I said, but Ben, I've only just bought a bike. Anyway, we chatted some options through, and I have to tell you that without meaning to, certainly without having any intention of doing it when I arrived, I agreed to trade up from my Street Twin, which was a month old, with, I think actually at that time I had about 670 miles on the clock or something like that. So about a month old, trade up to a brand new Street Triple R, the bike that I am riding at the moment. So I had to wait a couple of weeks while it was ordered in. I had quite a few bits and pieces fitted to it as well before I picked it up. But I finally picked it up in, I think it was early to mid-November. No, I think it was the 21st of November, so let's say late November. It's now 3 months later, and I've put about 1,100 miles on the bike. I put about 800 on the first one by the time it was handed back, so it's very nearly 2,000 miles since mid to late October. Riding through the winter, speed bump by the way, I was too busy talking, didn't see it. Riding through the winter, so my time on the bike has been restricted as a consequence of the weather. But that's still not bad going. And I've loved every minute of it, I have to be honest. I've really enjoyed my time on the bike, and I can't wait for the weather to get a little bit better, because if I've enjoyed it in the winter, I'm sure that I will absolutely love it in the spring and the summer. And we're not far away now, it'll be March soon. So that's the story of how I came to own 2 brand new bikes in the space of about a month. I do hate the little slip road that gets you onto this stretch of the North Orbital, because really hard to turn round enough once you're in position to merge with the road. It's quite hard to turn round enough to see what's coming, so it can be a bit of a pain actually. And it also means there's a fair amount of filtering to do in order not to be stuck behind the cars, which on these roads, I don't mind it so much in town, but I always feel that there's slightly more risk of someone sort of suddenly switching lanes or doing something unpredictable, and by definition, well, not by definition, but one is generally going a little bit quicker than, when you're stuck in London traffic, which is literally like a couple of miles an hour most of the time. So it's got to be on your toes a little bit, but there's a nice gap and it's not wet at the moment, so the lane markings aren't causing me a problem. I'd rather not be on them. That was nice. It's always good when people give you room rather than close the gap when they see you coming, which does happen. Filtering, schmiltering. That's nice. Some space. Didn't quite trust that guy. To be fair, didn't trust him at all. So there's the M1 heading north, always busy this time of night. I'm sure there'll be lots of tailbacks and delays. We're sticking with the A414, we're probably about 10 minutes away from the showroom now, and I wouldn't have thought there'll be too much traffic going into Hemel Hempstead itself, so we should be lucky. But I guess there are people coming home from work who live in Hemel, as well as people leaving work who work in Hemel. So let's just see how we go. Perfect example of what I was talking about earlier then, because I came quite close then to someone just cutting right across me into my lane, which would not have been good. To put it mildly. That's not looking clever. Better. At least I know if he can get through, then I can get through, as long as I don't do anything daft. It's always nice to have someone leading the way, actually. Quite reassuring. Oh, get those feet up. Wow, there's a lot of traffic. Much more than I thought there was going to be, actually, if I'm honest. People changing lanes up ahead can always be a bit of a nightmare. Yeah, that's tight. That is tight. Of course, filtering this country is perfectly legal, so I thought for a moment that might have been a police car because of the markings. Even if it was a police car, they would pay scant attention to these two bikes coming up the middle of the two lanes. In fact, if they were police on bikes, they would be doing it as well, probably a lot better. Well, that other bike is clearly not going to the open night. He was on a Yamaha though, so it's hardly surprising. Now it should be a little bit easier. I doubt there'll be a lot of traffic now between here and the showroom, which is about 5 minutes away at most. Well, here we are. Wasn't so bad actually, about half an hour, not even that. More traffic than you'd choose, I guess, but nothing that really caused a problem. And on that note, I shall say goodbye for now, and maybe I'll pick up on the bikes themselves in a future video, but I'll be turning my camera off inside and having something to eat, listening to the presentations, gawping at the bikes, and then going home. So I hope you've enjoyed this. More on these bikes to follow.